Welcome to BizTips with Jenny Rice, bringing you insights from real entrepreneurs. No fluff, just raw, practical strategies from those who've been in the trenches. Whether you're launching, scaling, or pivoting, this podcast is your backstage pass to lessons, successes, and game-changing tips. Get ready to learn, take action, and level up. Let's dive in with our next guest.
Hi, this is Jenny Rice with BizTips podcast. I'm very, very excited about our guest today. We've got Angela Dunz, who's known as the Biz Dev Badass. So welcome, Angela.
So glad to be here. Thank you for having me, Jenny.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So tell me a bit about you and your background.
Well, I moved to California 15 years ago this coming May to be a CMO, and that didn't quite work out, and I ended up starting my own business. Not too many people get their MBA to start a business of their own. That's not a normal path. And so that's why I call myself the accidental entrepreneur. It was more circumstances than anything else. I seem to have just a sixth sense for marketing. And I have been studying the algorithms and how LinkedIn works for 13 years and always learning new things.
That's great. That's great that I love that accidental, but it was meant to be at the same time, right? Yeah.
It was meant to be, whether that was the path I was on or, the universe sort of turns you sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you mentioned that your marketing is sort of your sixth sense. Tell me more about that. You just intuitively get that, or you just see the bigger picture?
I have a very different way of doing marketing. I am not one of those rah-rah, in-your-face, buy my stuff kind of marketer. I am more of a relationship marketer. I am more a educational-based marketer. I'm an introvert. And I learned very early in my career that extroverts really shouldn't be the ones teaching introverts how to sell. Because when introverts try to do things in an extroverted way, it's not authentic and it doesn't work.
That's really insightful. You're right, because the way you show up and you present yourself is so meaningful. The energy you produce, the way you interact with people, and you got to feel good about it. Otherwise, you're going to go home at night exhausted, right?
Yeah. And entrepreneurship is exhausting enough.
Yeah, there's a lot more responsibilities to it, right?
You're wearing all the hats.
Exactly. It's a fun thing, but it's also a lot of hats too, right? So.
Yes. I'm really glad that it ended up this way because I want to serve my clients the way I see fit. I don't want someone else telling me how to do it, when to do it, why to do it, what budget I have. I'm much more a freestyle person.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Isn't it great that you can make your own decisions? You don't have to be, today I'm going to start work at 10 o'clock versus 9 o'clock, and all those decisions that give you the freedom to make your choices. Love it. Yeah.
I had a mentor very early on, and she said, my income is far too precious for me to put it in the hands of someone else.
Yeah, that's a nice quote.
And that really hit me.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially with the economy and things like that, I think it's much more, smarter, if I'm saying that correctly, to do that on your own, because then you're paving your own way for your own success, right? So.
Yes. Well, and she was someone from the South who started her own business in her 50s.
So you never know, right?
Actually ostracized her as being the devil himself.
Interesting.
For starting and jumping up above herself by starting her own business.
Yeah, sometimes you have to deal with the naysayers, right? So tell me more about your business and how you serve your clients.
I work on LinkedIn business development, mostly for attorneys. And so that usually begins with looking at their profiles and doing some personal branding. I think that the definition of being a rainmaker is somebody that has a strong brand to back them up with great brand recognition, but also you have to have that extra special something that really attracts people. You have to have a personal brand as well. It's no good to have a strong brand and then you can't deal with people. You need to have a little bit of both. And I'm going to tell you on LinkedIn right now, the sexiest thing is clarity.
Mhm. I like
If I
that.
have to work really hard to figure out who somebody is and what it is that they do, I'm on to the next thing. We
Right.
just don't have very big attention spans right now. So you have to be very clear and very simple about who you serve and what problem you solve. And that really helps grease the wheels for relationship and business development.
That makes so much sense because you want to be doing your elevator pitch or whatever you want to call it, and somebody's like, wait a minute, who do you help and what do you do? Because then there's no way they're going to say that's me or that's not me, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I tell people the number one mistake the professionals make on LinkedIn is they make it about themselves. And
Hmm.
it's not about you, it's about how you can help others.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. You can talk about yourself, which could be interesting, but they want to know, how can you help me? What are you going to transform in my life? What difference are you going to make? What impact are you going to have? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So that's good. So you study the algorithm for LinkedIn, you know how it works, and you can guide your clients on how to maximize the opportunity there, right?
I try to keep my finger very tightly on the pulse of what the algorithms are doing. And, but I will never err on the side of the algorithms. I will err on the side of behavior and how people respond to things. For example, the algorithm report is coming out on the 28th of April. And one of the things the guys are saying is that the performance of video has dropped by about 300%.
Mm,
Now, video for me is my best play. It's absolutely the best. Most people that come to me will mention my videos. And so I think it's more a quality thing rather than a vanity metric quantity thing. You have to figure out what is it that drives business for you. And there's no faster way to know, like, and trust on a media platform like LinkedIn than a video. It's your face, a foot in front of that person. Either you're authentic and you appeal to them, or you don't appeal to them. It's the great sorting hat.
makes so much sense because, as you mentioned earlier, you are your brand. You need to show up authentically. People are going to connect to that. And if you're clear and your point is who you're going to serve and how you're going to solve their problem, they get it. They go, oh, this is going to help me. Then they're going to follow you and perhaps hire you for, your services, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So, you look at the algorithms and then you also study what is your business development funnel? How does that whole client journey go? And so maybe you don't post video every day, you do it once a week because it's still your path.
Exactly. So do you help your clients put together their video creation plan and all those kinds of
If
things, what their funnel should be?
if they're brave enough to do video.
Okay.
Yes, I will help them with that strategy and the scripting and the topics and the thumbnails and just the whole the whole thing, the
Right.
whole cycle of how to put together a post so that you're driving traffic to a video.
That's great. You should do some training for that because I'm assuming even not even lawyers, but other people would benefit of how does content spin and, get traction on LinkedIn, right?
Yes, I have a client who he does video twice a week, but all he shares on LinkedIn is a 30-second snippet. So it's just a teaser that helps him drive traffic to the longer videos.
Yeah. Yep. I've heard that's a really good opportunity where you build your YouTube channel of the longer videos by doing short videos, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, learning all about that. I'm becoming more into YouTube videos and things like that, getting more savvy about doing videos and showing up authentically in what you feel good about, right? And writing scripts that are meaningful, that have an impact and things like that. So very, very
Yes.
cool. So because you're so knowledgeable in LinkedIn, do you have any tips or suggestions for people that are using LinkedIn that they can use?
Yes. Number one tip that I would give everyone is look at your above the fold view as if you were a customer, a prospect. and be very objective and critical about that, because that is your first impression. That is your storefront. So does the banner speak to your ideal client? Does it have a tagline that makes it very clear what you do? Do you have branding on there so that people can recognize your brand and learn to trust your brand? Is your profile photo up to date, friendly, and approachable, and professional according to whatever your industry is? Marketers are going to show up a little bit differently than attorneys do.
Right.
But that's my number one tip, is get that above the fold view in order. Your headline should talk about the problem that you solve and the people that you serve. And then optimize your profile. Now, most people are going to have keywords all over their profile for things that they no longer do. And you're being found for that. So go through your profile and really think critically about what those keywords are now for this iteration of your business, and make sure that you have all the right keywords in your profile.
That is so great. Sorry, go on.
And the last one is visibility. Even if you're only posting once a week, you can do really well if it's a quality post that you're sharing once a week. And you don't have to write it. It could be from Harvard Business Review or Fast Company or Business Insider, with your thoughts shared with it. So it doesn't have to be original content, but you need to have a visibility strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. So people know that you're active, people know that you're interested in, and how you can help them and give them some benefits and insight, right? So
it's a noisy marketplace.
That's so amazing. So as part of your offer, do you help people analyze their profile? Because that'd be something I think would be interesting to my listeners, would be that the services you offer that could help them say, hey, help me up my profile, help me up my brand, help me make me look as best I can on LinkedIn.
I have helped create a lot of very strong brands.
That's great. And you said you're naturally intuitive into that, which is really wonderful. So
yeah, it's so funny because when it comes to content, most people, it's like their brain empties or it freezes, or there's something that happens when you say, well, do a post about that on LinkedIn.
Right.
And for me, it's just intuitive, and the images and the graphics and all of that stuff. I'm really lucky that way. It comes to me very naturally.
And that's great. As you mentioned before, the accidental entrepreneur, obviously you found your niche, what you love, you're good at, and you can make an impact. And what I love even more about it is that what you're doing is helping other people be successful. Right?
Yes. Nothing makes me happier than a good success story from one of my clients.
Absolutely. This is great. You are definitely a biz dev badass.
Thank you.
For sure. Well, it's been great having you as a guest on here. I've learned something, and I hope our listeners have learned something too.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Angela, for being a guest. This is Jenny Rice signing off with BizTips Podcast. Thank you again, Angela.
Thank you so much.
That's a wrap on this episode of BizTips. For more insights, join us online. We share exclusive tips, resources, and strategies to help you grow and scale your business. Until next time, keep building, innovating, and making an impact.